My name is Michael Vostok, and I have few questions that I wanted to ask.
Sure.
Right. So let's say for a first-time buyer,
Mm-hmm.
a person who doesn't know how things go, and I want to buy a house, which is outside of my budget.
Okay.
Just this is what we Baharians do. We like to, go all out and go with,
Impress.
I don't think
exactly.
it's limited to Baharians.
Yeah.
But we like to go over the top. So, and I know that, let's say I have, I don't know, I'm self-employed, but my credit is not that great.
Okay.
So now I have 10 credit cards
Yeah.
with $2,000 limit,
Mm-hmm.
and I have almost maxed them out.
Yeah.
How does that, how does
Impact.
Yeah, how does
Impact.
that, exactly. How does that impact?
Impact my
So
credit.
there are two things that we have to do, right? So in terms of just credit, fixing that is not necessarily going to be difficult. So if you don't have anything negative on your credit report and it's just a matter of having high usage, we have to pay everything down. There is no other option to improve the score, right? So we're going to have to make sure that all of the balances are going to be very low, especially because the limits are so small. If you go above 30% usage on that card, it's going to start impacting the credit score, right? So we have to just work on paying everything down. And if it's an immediate situation where you're really going into contract, that is essential for us to be able to qualify you for the mortgage. So the first step, obviously, someone like James, a mortgage officer, would make sure your income works, all of that works in order to qualify for the mortgage. Then once we check the credit, I say, okay, if that's really it, you're just maxed out, our only option is to work on paying everything off.
How do you work with, I apologize, how do you work with fraud?
What fraud in what way?
5-6 years ago, there was a huge wave of people losing their data to hackers.
Sure.
People,
Okay.
It's like 6 years ago, someone used my information and opened up a credit card.
Okay. So in a situation like that, a lot of people don't know how to really rectify the issue. So sometimes they'll just try calling the company that issued the credit card and dispute it. A lot of times that doesn't work because they're going to say, well, it looks like you applied, so you applied. So they keep that card there. The only way to really fix it that I've seen with experience is to work with the attorneys that are on our team. They have a certain process in place where you have to get a very specific detailed police report, affidavits drawn up. Then they will work on rectifying it with the creditors and the credit bureaus. So when you have a team of attorneys also helping you with a situation like this, it's very helpful because let's say one bureau, they say, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not sure, we'll remove it, but the other two keep it. While having the attorneys with all of the supporting documentation, they will make it so that not only is it not on your credit report, but you are not actually responsible for that debt. Does that make sense? Because sometimes, like, let's say that credit card opened and it ended up going into collections because, again, it wasn't yours. So they could sell it to a collection company. Now, the credit bureaus, if you dispute it, they could say, okay, maybe we'll remove it from the credit report because this person's disputing it. It's not there. Now, that collection company, they end up filing a judgment against you because they still think you owe it.
That's right.
That is an issue. So you need to have
an attorney.
You need to have attorneys really work on getting all of this fixed.
Does that take a long time?
So the thing is, certain situations, it might take time because we, as a credit company, we have to put everything in correctly. We have to wait a certain time frame. And then once we get a specific response back from the bureaus, we say, well, they didn't fulfill what they were supposed to do. We have the attorneys work on it. They then have to litigate with each of the bureaus and the creditor. So depending on how quickly counsel moves on the opposing side, it could take a month. It could take 2 months. We've seen certain cases, it takes 3 to 4 months. However, I will say it's still important to do it the right way versus trying to just get it fixed and that debt comes up again in the future somewhere else.
How much does that cost to a customer? Like, how much will it cost me to fix everything and make everything smooth?
So specific with identity theft, again, it's a case by case. So our company, we're putting all of the pieces together to actually have the supporting evidence and documentation for the attorneys to file the lawsuit. So if a client, let's say you were going to buy a house and you had to do all of this work together. I was saying earlier with Olga, that might be more of a retainer situation where you're going to be working with me one-on-one over a period of time. So that could cost you maybe $2,500, $3,000, depends on the file. Some clients, we do it for less, depending on the situation. But again, once the attorneys are suing the credit bureaus, there is no additional cost to you for the lawsuits. So what the attorneys will do is they'll bill the credit bureaus directly for their time.
Wow.
I like that.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
So
This is huge.
the
Yeah.
fee that you're paying our company will work on getting all the pieces together. So that fee, obviously, we have a team that has to work on getting all the documents, paperwork, we'll process everything, we'll form a good backbone for the attorneys to then take it and they go and they run with it. And there's no
Right.
additional cost.
That's
What is the
phenomenal.
rate
Yes.
of winning the case?
Well, I mean, our attorneys, they really only file if they're confident in winning the case. So if they
Mhm.
don't think it's a good case, they're not going to take it.
Mhm.
So our attorneys are very, very good. The team that we work with, I think they've won. They're in like the top attorney firm that's won the most FICRA violation cases in the country. So they're very, very good.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What team is that? What's the name of their team?
Can't disclose.
Oh, okay. I'm
just
sorry.
because again, it's more of we don't want to go into detail about that,
Right.
but they are very, very good.
It's those guys from that movie, The Suits. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the people from Suits.
Oh.
Yes, for sure.
They're really good.
Now, James, what's your role in it?
I'm a mortgage banker. I do mortgages, residential financing.
So you guys are like really intertwined.
Yes, we definitely help each other out.
Good credit
with the
will
customers.
give me a better rate.
Absolutely. Right now, with the most recent update from Fannie and Freddie Mac, 780 is for you to get the best interest rate right now.
780.
780. Yes.
Okay.
It used to be 740.
Now
it's
right.
780.
What happened? Why is that?
After COVID, everything has changed. There's a significant change with occupancy, the adjustment for occupancy, adjustment for credit score. So this brand new tier just started last year.
Isn't that a little unfair to people that do have money but made past mistakes and now they have to pay the price? Yeah, I said
that's we would have to take that with the Congress and the government, then I guess.
Don't even go there.
it. So what do? Do we vote Republican or Democrat? You know what? Let's not get
No, we'll call Samantha and have her help
we
us
love
to bring the
everybody.
credit score.
We are
Yeah.
United
Between the
Nations.
780, you know?
Right.
That's what we do. That's why she's here.
There
She
we
can
go.
she can help everybody to bring the credit score up.
Yes.
So you bring the score up,
Yeah.
and you give the best possible rate.
Absolutely.
So what do you do for people that do have money
Mm-hmm.
or they do have cash? Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of self-employed people
Right.
that don't necessarily show a W-2,
Mhm.
but they're 1099s and they're different other means of income.
So in today's world, there's something called the full documentation, and there's something called the non-QM. And non-QM is for customer who, like what you just said, who is self-employed. They own multiple business, and they prefer not to show their tax return, which
Yeah.
we have programs for that.
Mhm.
The minimum down payment will be 20% down. We would require the customer to provide 12 months or 24 months personal or business bank statement, depending on the type of business they have, or they can have their CPA provide a P&L, profit and loss statement, and based
Right.
on that profit and loss statement, we will be able to help them to get a financing
Okay.
if they choose not to provide tax returns.
And how long does that take?
In terms of financing,
Yeah.
the process, 30 days, 45 days.
30 to 40 days.
Yeah. We can do co-ops, condo, 1 to 4 family. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 1 to 8 family.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And you guys work. What's your best customer? And what's your worst customer? I'm talking about coming from what's like best customer. Customer has all the papers.
I wouldn't put it that way. I think best customer is someone that who's willing to work with you, listen to your advice, and take you, because we're here to help the customer to achieve their, American dreams. If you trust us, you should. These are the customers that will follow our leads, follow our best advice, because we are in here to help you get your homes. So if you follow our instruction, we have our best intention to help you. Perfect example, I had a customer where they were looking to purchase a co-op. Once I ran a credit, their credit score is 640. They're not going to pass the board, no matter what, everyone's telling them. I told them, look, you could try, but if you listen to me, you follow my instruction, you should talk to somebody who can help you repair the credit first.
Mhm.
And they listened. I sent it to Samantha. In a month and a half, she got them over 700.
And they got approved.
Well,
real?
yeah, exactly. They listened.
they got approved.
They got approved.
You know,
but they
Samantha-
wouldn't. They wouldn't pass because the lady, my customer at the board, after they passed the interview, she pulled the one of the board member you guys saw the before and after. What happened? I said, well, you have a good credit. That's why we pass you.
America runs on credit.
Yeah.
We should
Always.
say, not America
Of
runs
course,
on Dunkin'.
of course, that's off the record.
Runs
That's
on
off the credit, but that was very important. They like her credit.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I think
Samantha, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Back in early 2000s, before the bust, there were a lot of credit agencies that after the whole fiasco, the whole financial fiasco, those credit agencies were deemed fraudulent. A lot of people went to jail.
Mhm.
A lot of credit agencies had to shut down because they were running behind like shell
Yeah.
companies and
Yeah.
they were just taking people's money and running away with it.
Yeah.
How long are you in business?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, and I
Alright.
don't know if you heard
So-
Olga earlier, but we're a family-run business. So
Okay.
my mom always says if I'm going to force my child to come into business with me, it's because, everything, all of our ducks are in a row. Like you're never
Kosher.
going to, yeah,
Alright.
of course. So yes, we have all of our ducks in a row at our
But the
company.
thing is, so because of that whole fiasco, a lot of people got a bad taste
100%.
of credit agencies, and a lot of people are very
Skeptical.
skeptical and wary of those of these agencies.
Yes.
How do you stand out? How do you make people trust you?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we are very honest and realistic when we do a consultation with somebody. So I think a lot of other repair companies, what they do is they promise people the world.
Yeah.
And they say, I can delete this, I can get rid of this, I can do that. I will tell my clients, honestly, I say, you have to rectify your debt. We might have to settle it. We might have to do this. If there are actual errors, we'll fix it. But I'm very honest. So I will tell them upfront and say, I can't just send out a letter and get X, Y, and Z removed just because we dispute it. That's just not how it works. So I think just having more open conversations with people, being realistic and giving them a specific timeline on when we can deliver, that's been the best asset for us. All of our business really runs on referrals. We haven't done any marketing or anything like that. So even just a few months ago, we didn't have a lot of Google reviews, because we are very fortunate. Our clients find us through different referral partners. They'll find us through other clients. But we said, maybe we should just at least show the local community what we're about. So very quickly, we got maybe 500 reviews online through
Wow.
That's
Google.
phenomenal. That's
Yeah,
good.
they're all
Incredible.
5 stars, which I'm very thankful
Wow.
for.
All right.
But I will say we were only able to build it because we're honest with the process. We're honest with what we can deliver. There are some people that come and I'll tell them, I cannot fix this right now because of X, Y, and Z. So if they don't have the means to fix it, I'll give them another opportunity. I'll give them another option. But I think just being able to show that we really care about our clients, we have their best interest in mind always. That's what's been able to help us grow our company.
I mean, this is incredible. This is amazing. I don't know how, Olga, how did you find Samantha?
Through James.
Through James. You're like,
You want to align to yourself
Dude.
with the right people,
absolutely. You got the
Absolutely.
right team. You'll
Absolutely.
achieve
Yeah.
everything.
Well, remember, James is the money guy.
Yes, James is a money guy.
Samantha is the credit repair agency, and I'm the real estate broker.
Well,
and
let's
again,
go.
when it comes to me, right? Like
Yeah.
if Michael would come to me and I felt with my gut,
Yeah.
just by having a conversation, that you're not ready yet. We just spoke about it,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
we just talked
We
about
just
it.
spoke about it. And I said to Samantha, Samantha, I think the perceptions of people that they have about the brokers is that we're there just for quick bucks and make money.
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you. The more I grow, the older I go. I want to work smarter,
Yes.
Yes.
not harder. You
Absolutely.
understand? So when I work with clients, I would love to have a conversation with them before, just to kind of like dive into your thoughts.
Pre-approval.
Where do you want to be?
Yeah.
What's your potential? How much money do you make? What is your payment versus
Right.
what do you
Interest
teach
rate.
me all the time? It's not about the interest rate, it's about the payments, right?
Like,
So see where your payments are, where you're comfortable being. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not about what your wife wants.
What? It's all about it.
Okay? Because I've seen it over and over again where the wife could say, honey, oh, you have no idea, James. Sometimes I go home and I tell my husband, geez, I feel so sorry for this guy.
Mhm.
She's just standing there in the kitchen and she says, unless you fix this kitchen, I'm not buying this house. And I turn around and I tell my husband, I feel so sorry for this guy.
Mhm.
Because even when he's going to put a new kitchen, in 5 years from today,
She's not gonna
this
like it.
kitchen
not
is
gonna
going to
like
get
it.
outdated.
Yeah.
And if she's got that mental capacity of demanding,
yeah.
that he's with the wrong woman. So let's go
Fine,
back.
That's it. I'm filing for divorce.
Let's go back to Michael, right? Unless I know you as a client with your wife on the same page,
Yeah.
ready, willing, and able,
Yeah.
then we cannot help you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you are, then we all come together
Yeah.
and they will justify that. Sometimes me and James talk until 1 o'clock in the morning
We do.
just because.
We have
Some
to strategize
crises
to make
arise.
sure. Absolutely.
And we need to communicate just to get the deal
Does
done.
Roman know you guys talk to one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
Well,
asking.
I'll make sure. I'll make sure he's on the other line too.
yeah. But this is the structure. We're here to guide you.
Mhm.
We're here to support you. We're
Yeah.
here to show you. And remember, throughout the process, it's a very emotional
Yes.
process.
Very
home
much.
So
buying.
if our clients are more reacting to the events that are happening and not dived into understanding, okay, yes, the problem came in with a credit,
Mhm.
okay, and now we have to put our mind together and fix it collectively as a team, right?
Yeah.
We're not in the same office, but we collectively
Yes.
all work together day in, day out.
Right.
Samantha has her partnerships that she's mastered
Mhm.
with accountants to make sure your credit and your taxes and everything put together properly, right? And then James comes in and says, oh, Samantha fixed the problem. Now let me take over and see if we could do financing. And then I call James and call you. Okay, James, what's maximum now we could spend on the house?
Right.
Well, Michael says he wants to spend $1 million.
Right.
Can we buy him $1 million house somewhere close by? Probably
Yeah.
Fix her up.
yes or no. I would say probably no.
Mike wants to.
Okay. So now we're looking at his ability to pay.
Exactly.
Can he afford the payments?
And that's why I always said.
And
it's not
continue
picking-
to go to vacations.
That's
Remember,
right.
he just
That's
came
right.
back from vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the last thing we want,
Right.
is for us to lose the lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to have the life
Yeah.
that we want.
And that's why I always said, Olga, it's not about the interest rate because interest rate fluctuate on a day on a daily basis. It's the monthly payment that you have to be comfortable with. I can give you 1%, but if you're not comfortable with a monthly payment, what's the
Doesn't
point?
matter.
The rate today could be 7%, could be 8%, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the same rate 2-3 years down the road, right? You marry the house and you date the rate. That's what it is.
Here it is.
And you
Marry the house.
You marry the
Date the
house
rate.
and you
Yeah,
date
date
the
the
rate
rate.
because based on all predictions that we are experiencing right now in real estate,
Yeah.
and remember, I started in 2001. So I've seen a lot. I
Yeah.
can't say I've seen it all,
I'm
but
2
we
years
collectively
after her. I started 2003, so we've been through this. This is a
quite some
cycle.
time.
Yeah, quite some
so
time.
we've seen the crisis of ups and downs, but what we're experiencing right now is nowhere close to the crisis that we had in 2008.
Yeah.
2008 is when I had my own company. It was Concept Realty. I opened up a company with someone from the community. You know them very well. But I had to kind of like close it down because we recruited 50 agents. I had all these 50 agents running around the main street, but they weren't closing deals. We were getting listings, but we weren't closing deals. Now we are in a completely different situation. We don't have enough houses. So people are married into their rates where everybody did refinance or modification or all kinds of different scenarios that people living in. 2% rate, 3% rate, right? People modified.
Well, that's why they're not selling.
Correct.
That's
and
one
this
of the
is why they're
reasons,
not
yeah.
selling,
And that's why
because
there's a
they're
short
comfortable
inventory, yeah.
in payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are not living in their dream house
Yeah.
because pandemic happened when? 3 years ago?
Yeah. 3 years.
So usually they say the statistic is showing that people usually move based on their desires,
5 to 7
wants, and
years.
needs
5 to
every
7 years.
5 to 7 years. So we got 2 more years to go until people start kind of like pushing out of their walls.
Yeah.
Because if you're having baby 1, baby 2, baby 3, I have clients sometimes coming to me in 1-bedroom apartment with 5 kids and 6th one is on the way.
Remember her? That lady?
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have so many kids.
Yeah.
It's because of
Oh no, I
one
couldn't do it.
bedroom.
No,
I could
no,
never
no.
do this. No, I need space. I need room to breathe.
That's
I
crazy.
just can't.
Yeah.
But
There's no space to lose yourself.
no,
You're
no,
always
but
there.
but you need to have privacy.
Yeah.
You need to have space to breathe. You need to have accommodations for the kids. And many times when we work over and over again with our buyers, it's not the mom and dad who makes the decision. It's the kids.
The kids
The kids make the decision.
make decisions.
Yes. They walk into the house,
Right.
and if the kids feel emotionally, mentally, physically, and energetically connected, they walk in and say, "Oh, Mom, I'm going to be in this room,
Yeah.
and Joe is going to be in that room." So they already mentally positioning themselves, and that's how I look at Father and say, "So what are we going to do? Are you ready to make an offer?
Yeah.
Did I just sell you?"
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even. That's why I don't even look at the houses. It's the wife and the kids. That's it. The wife likes the kitchen. The kids likes the basement. That's it.
You just
It's
just
a
go
journey.
ahead and sign it. That's it.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
I need my
Yeah.
garage.
Oh,
It's
there
a
you go.
journey.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
That's it.
Man's cave, right?
That's it.
Yeah, man cave.
A man cave. A man who
cave.
buys the whole house
Gets a cave.
just so he gets a little cave.
That's it.
How is this is not fair.
That's
We're gonna start a movement.
That's how. James, are you part of it?
I'm gonna sign
gonna
up
join
again. I'm gonna
Bukharian
sign up again.
community?
I'm gonna join.
And start
Let's
a
go. We're
movement.
gonna go with it. I wanted to ask you a question about rates
hmm
and as a professional.
Yeah.
How do you see rates in, let's say, 2 or 3 years? Are they going to come down?
I mean, based on the statistics, right? It looks like it should be going down. I mean, the Fed is I forgot they're meeting this week or next week, and they're going to raise
Another quarter?
another quarter, maybe twice.
Twice this
Yeah,
year.
Yeah,
8%.
More time,
We're gonna
yeah.
hit 8%
Yeah.
in the past 30 years?
Olga and I, we came here in the 90s. You came in.
I don't remember those rates.
No, actually, when we came to the 90s, the rates were above 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
it was higher,
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
I was 17.
Yeah. When I started
So
this
was I, but-
business, when I started this in 2003, that time the rates was around about 6 to 7, maybe 7.5.
I bought my
Yeah.
first apartment in 2003.
Yeah.
But I bought it below 6. But because, see, I didn't know anything. And
Yeah.
I overpaid tremendously
For the house.
for the
Apartment.
apartment.
For the apartment. Okay.
I paid out of my nose
Hmm.
because I paid for points.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the same people, by the way.
Mm.
Mm.
I paid for points out of my nose only because I had so many student debt
Mm.
loans.
Mm.
Because I had so many loans, and because of my I was 22.
Mm. Oh,
Honestly.
good for you.
We should be
Yeah,
proud of
okay,
yourself.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
started
fine.
somewhere,
But
right?
still, I overpaid. I could have had 2 apartments for that money.
Yeah.
Well, don't be greedy, Michael. You started off.
Yeah.
We always talk about this, right? Like, it's always good to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
And what I'm learning now, which is a very big thing in our community, by the way, and your communities as well,
Yeah.
where we want to help our kids
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
not to fall,
It's the new trend.
right? And I'm listening to a lot of these podcasters right now where they say, let them fall, let them have credit card debt, let them figure it out. Because if you don't let them figure it out and you're going to continue helping them and you're going to continue paying for everything, then they just don't figure out how to do it.
Well, hopefully one day they will realize, this is the real world, and they would just, live up to it.
But
But
James, do you see it as a new trend where parents are buying their kids' homes?
they're helping with the down payment.
Yeah, they're
They're
helping.
helping with the down payment. They don't necessarily, buying for
Paid
them.
in
They're
full.
helping. Yeah, no, most of them would give them a certain dollar amount to help them with the down payment within their capacity, obviously, and that has happened, a lot, which is a good thing because now the kids can afford it. But
But can kids afford a house right now by themselves?
depending, everyone's different.
Let's
right?
say a new professional, a guy who just came out of school, just starting out. He's an accountant.
Again, that's depending on the incomes, right?
Mhm.
So and then what they're comfortable with the monthly payment for someone who's making $70,000-$80,000, maybe not a house immediately. They could start with a co-op,
Co-op.
right? A much cheaper
That's
co-op,
how we make it,
right?
yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and that's how. And now, if you're a little bit more established, you're making a little bit more income,
Right.
then you can move to a bigger apartment or maybe to a house. Now, New York's expensive. We all know that,
Absolutely.
right? So there are other programs, first-time homebuyer program incentive that we can help them. But there's income restrictions. So if you make X dollar amount of income, you don't qualify for those
Yeah.
programs. But they are programs that we can, that we can find designed for these first-time homebuyers. Hopefully, that can help them with a lower down payment.
When you say lower down payment, you're talking about FHA loans?
Either could be FHA loans, it could be conventional. FHA loan will require 3.5% minimum. Fannie Mae
But then your
loan has
PMI will be forever.
for the life of the loan, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
But those
So now
for
you're paying over $400 extra a month,
depending on the loan amount.
right?
Mhm.
Right, and then you can always refinance when you have enough equity, or if your income's a lot higher, you can refinance. Conventional can put as little as 3% down, right? There you also have Sony Mae programs where you could put 5, 10, 20% down, and the rate right now it's much lower compared to the banks because it's held by the New York State. It's Sony Mae is a New York State program, so they give incentivized if you're within the income limit, they give you a lower interest rate, and they can even include the closing costs as well. They can finance those. So there's a lot of ways you can structure the loans to help the buyer. But again, down, the basic is you have to be comfortable and based on your income, what you can afford. Obviously, if you're making $70,000 and you wanted to buy $1 million house, come on, let's be realistic.
It's not gonna work.
That's not going to work, right? Even if I give you the loan, you're not going to be able to pay it. What's the point? Yeah,
Right. It's the last thing we want, to put them in trouble.
absolutely, absolutely.
Unless you want to buy the house back.
No,
I'm not in the business to buy houses.
no.
You're not in the business of buying houses.
Not me.
Isn't it isn't it more lucrative for you to buy houses, flip them?
To be honest with you, Michael, I do enjoy, well, James knows me for so many years now. I'm a powerhouse when it comes to being a listing agent.
Yes.
And I love marketing properties. And I love really bringing the best out of the properties. Like right now, I have a client who is selling an apartment in North Shore Towers. We walked in. He said, look, 5 other brokers looked at it, told me I shouldn't touch anything, and I should just sell it as it. I looked at him and I said, I will tell you the truth. I don't need you to sign my listing agreement right now just to win your business. Will you listen to me to get your top dollar? He said, yes. I said, first of all, you're going to paint it. Because all these cracked walls and all these cracked ceilings, it's going to, whatever it's costing you, $50 of paint, it will be negotiations. For me, $10,000, if not more. That's how people look at it.
Yeah.
So what I do is I always bring the best out of every property. I make them stage it if need be. I make them get rid of some extra furniture. I make them redesign it. I mean, everything in the scope of their best ability. But I bring the best out of property, and then they make 3 times more than what they expect.
Right.
In my commissions.
Yeah.
You understand?
So
my commission is well worth it.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, they have representation. Because when you're unrepresented, you're lost.
Right.
Yeah.
So you give them value.
Correct.
And going back to your first question, that's a good customer who listened. That's the
Exactly.
customer we like.
And you know
So
what?
that's your best customer.
Yeah.
I think
People
the
that
customer who
listen.
listens.
Yeah,
The one who says, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I don't
Thank
need
you.
to paint it. Just sell it for me. All right.
Mr. Michael, I will sell it. Regardless, I will sell it.
Yeah.
But I promise you, you will not get top dollar. I promise you.
So why do I need you?
Why?
I want
Because
top dollar as is.
you
This is
can't. You
it's
can't.
from the heart
Everything.
inside.
Everything has. Everything has its value.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If a diamond is not well polished and it's not on display, and you don't see it shining, no one will pay you top dollar. When a diamond, let's say, is sitting in 100 years old casting that's not well polished, you will not get top dollar. Our job is to polish that diamond, which is your apartment, okay, or a house, is to bring the best out of it. If it takes me a day or 2 or 3, like right now I have 3 outgoing projects, 3. And they all cry and they all scream and yell that it's hard. Well, I always think of a way. Okay, the floors didn't come out good. So you know what? We're going to stage it.
Yeah.
We're going to stage it. We're going to put the carpet, rugs. But when I show it, I'm not going to hide it. I will pull up the carpet and rug and say, hey, look, this is the floors. This is the truth about the floors. You will have to buy it and fix it.
Right.
But you walked in here. Do you see the value of the space?
Right. So then you're
Yeah.
going to make it look like it
Correct.
should look.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to feel like you are home.
Right.
It's not all about the beauty. It's not all about just that vibrant kitchen or bathroom
Yeah.
that you feel like, wow. It's all about the energy, the chi, I call it, right? The sunlight. How do you feel when you walk in? Do you
You're passionate. God.
yeah.
She is. That I give it to you. She's
Yes.
very passionate.
That's why
over
she's
here.
good at
Yeah.
Yes. It's all about where you're walking in. It could be the most beautiful apartment, but it's a dark spot where you don't have any sunlight, where you have the trees growing outside your windows, where you have buildings. Well, guess what? I'm going to bring a buyer and say, hey, mister buyer, do you love dark? Because if you do, this is a place for you. But if you don't, let's keep looking. I'm not going to sell you anything that you shouldn't buy because I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
Because guess what? In 5 to 7 to 10 years from now, and that's where my database is at the moment, when you come back to me, I don't want you to tell me, Olga, you sold me this apartment, but then I sold it to you with the gas station being outside, you didn't see it because I was showing it to you at 9 o'clock intentionally, so you couldn't see it.
10 o'clock. Man, that's how I got my second apartment.
You see that? You see that, Michael?
I didn't know that.
We
Now
know
I
a lot
do.
of material defects
Right.
that you need to work with good broker.
Yes.
Well, listen, you sound like a person who knows everything about everything in this industry.
Thank you.
So Samantha and James, you guys are like a super team.
We are.
We are.
They're like superheroes in real estate or something like that.
Thank you.
We're
Just to say-
professionals, and we're proud of what we do, and we,
Yeah.
we care for our clients, and
Yes.
that's the bottom line.
And even with the market that it is today,
Mhm.
like James gets invited to my open houses. I always tell him to come over and talk to buyers and see who's good and who is not, who is ready right now and who is not.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets in a position where I talk to you and you'll walk in and say, "Hey, Olga, I want to buy cash." And I look at James and he has no business to be there.
That's okay.
But it's okay.
What do you mean no business to be there? It's
Buy
cash.
cash.
Because
That's
if you're
fine.
buying cash, how is he getting any business from you?
Well, if you need money, I'll just take the money out for you. I mean, I'll do a cash out refinance later. And
Down the
you can-
road.
Down the road.
Oh, so you can do that.
Absolutely.
course.
Absolutely. Doesn't mean that there's no opportunity down the road, There's so many type of program. You can do a cash out refinance. You can do a home equity line of credit.
Your money is never frozen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you want to be very financially wise, like
Yeah.
we spoke about it. And this is what Samantha comes in. And this is why I felt like she would be a good candidate for us to even bring her on board for our listeners, our community, our people, for them to understand that if you file for bankruptcy, when you were in trouble a couple of years ago, it's not the end of the world.
No.
Samantha could come in and fix it.
No, I think bankruptcy is a tool. It's a very good tool. I went through it myself. I'm not gonna lie. I had a big store. I had a huge store during the not pandemic, but on 08 and 09.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's when everything started to go down.
Right.
And so retail slid, and I couldn't get my money out of
Business.
my business.
Mhm.
It was just smarter for me to file rather than sell it for nothing and then sit on debt that I couldn't pay off.
Yeah.
So would he be a good candidate to file if he called you back then?
So,
Back then, yeah. I mean, you have a particular reason to file, and if the debt amount is insurmountable, there's no option out, then I agree that's a good option. I was just saying with Olga earlier, though, sometimes people file for bankruptcy because they don't know how to deal with creditors. They don't know how to
Yeah.
deal with judgments. And if the amount isn't enough and it doesn't make sense, I will tell the client, I don't think it's worth it for you to file bankruptcy if you only owe $15,000 or if you only owe $10,000.
Right.
Because if they're in a position where they can make money down the road, so they buy real estate that can grow in equity, or they have those opportunities right around the corner, it might not make sense. So it is an amazing tool for the right reason. It just has to fit the scenario for the client.
that's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm going to have to head out. I still have to. You promised me 10 minutes. We're in for 45 already.
Really?
That's
Oh my gosh, it's been
45?
45
You
minutes.
guys,
Oh wow, 40.
Oh yeah, time goes quick.
we got to go. Olga,
right.
it was a pleasure. Samantha, James, you guys are
Pleasure
amazing.
meeting you.
And
Thank you.
I was
Thank you.
just
Did you learn something?
something. I'm taking away a bag of information. Thank you. And, I wrote it down. And Sam and James, I think I'm going to call you guys later because there are people who I know personally who who should use you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they go forward with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Love
you.
to assist. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Michael.
joining
Appreciate it.
us.